Okay, everyone, looks like we're live. This is going to be the fourth live stream I'm doing. At the second live stream I've been doing, somebody asked me to review some hot hatches. I think that's a great idea because most of the people that watch this channel, when I look at the demographics, um, yeah, they're not really the type of age group that goes for a very uber luxury car. So most of them probably interested in hot hatches, especially if you're from the UK or from Europe. Maybe the target market in America is a little bit different, but nonetheless, I thought of some nice examples I want to share with you guys. So without any further ado, I will take you to the first example. Um, Still hope you like this combination between buying reviews and streams. This last month, June, been a little bit extreme with almost every week a live stream. I will not make that much live streams in the future, but I will probably continue doing so. So please let me know what you think. I already put a poll on my channel. Most of the people don't recommend that continue, but there's also a few that think just keep on going. So for the people that don't like it, just skip it. I will continue doing buying reviews nonetheless. Mercedes in the future, more Audi and BMW that will come. But apparently, there's also a few people that like live streams, and I like recording them and making them for you guys. So that's yeah, that's just a notice from your guy at Eagle Eye. Without further ado, let's just go to the first example. So we have to set some rules here. So we're gonna go to the brand Ford, and we're gonna select a maximum of 8,000 euros. But this amount of money will quickly go up when I see something nice that I want to show you. I have a few hot hatches from Europe, of course. I have a few high-end hot hatches, so entry level, medium to high end. I have some American, not hot hatches, more like how you say muscle cars, and of course I have the Japanese stuff. So first model is the Focus, just the Focus, and we're gonna add something there. Let's see if we can find an ST. And of course it has to be petrol. Oh, it finds 18. So 2006, 170,000 kilometers driven, the 2.5 20 valve engine. And if I remember correctly, this engine comes from Volvo. So which makes it very reliable, and it's a 5-cylinder, I believe. So let's see if we can make this a little bit bigger. 2006, always liked this car. I really liked it. The design. I heard one driving past me one day when I had the window rolled down, and it was just a great sound. Again, this is 2006. It's getting old, but 7K is okay. Typical Ford, but it's performance oriented. It's yeah, on the dashboard is less refined than, let's say, a Golf product, but Ford kind of puts his money where it matters, right? So the engine is good, the brakes are good, the chassis is good. All the rest, the buttons are a little bit plasticky, a little bit flingy, but yeah, it's just a matter of taste, you know? The engines are good. I mean, this is from the time that Ford and Volvo had a partnership. For those who don't know, I drive a S40. The chassis is from the Focus, and the chassis of a Focus is just good. And they bought the engine block from the Volvo, the 5-cylinder. Recaro seats in there. Yeah, typical Ford from the early 2000s. 170,000. That's what they claim. All right, now let's go to some specs. So let's zoom out. 2006, 6-speed. It's an import. Okay, I would walk away because we have some pretty shady cars that are imported, but just for the sake of this video, I will just go over this. Forget it's an imported car. Measurements, engine. See, a 5-cylinder engine, the 2.5, and it has a turbo. So it's basically, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the T5 engine block. So basically the most heavy, the strongest Volvo engine was put in this ST. And in this configuration, it pushes out 226 horsepower and 320 newton meters of torque, which for a car that weighs what? Where is it? Yeah, not even 1300 kilos. I can tell you, the engine is great. I love 5 cylinders. I have the 140 horsepower version, but I can imagine when you have the 2.5 liter 5-cylinder with a turbo, and then 1300 kilos with the 4 chassis, it's gonna be a great car. So let's see what else is out there. 2007. So this is the first. Is it ST or an ST line? Let's find something really obvious. Okay, this is platinum. This all looks normal. This is also 2006. Okay, let's go back to this one that also looked like an ST. 1 year younger. This could be an option, you know, if you don't want to go for the Germans, you don't want to go for the Japanese. This is great. Also been looking at this car. Yeah, this is an ST, definitely. But this is like the newer generation. Different kind of styling, if I say that correctly. It have different headlights than the other one. Okay, red Recaro seats. But it's driven quite something. 2007, 210,000 kilometers. These engines are bulletproof. Yes, they do need regular maintenance, but you don't drive this car to drive 100 on the highway. You know, you drive this to accelerate it, to hear this nice 5-cylinder soundtrack. Yeah, you go for a car like this, you either spend 8K and think it's gonna be fine, or you know, you spend a little bit more. So that's why also I say under 8K, just to make sure that everybody can find themselves in the price and think, that's acceptable for me. And yes, I have some mechanical background. I can do some of the maintenance myself to keep the cost down. That's why I say 8K. But later on in this video, around the end, I have some special cars that are well above 8K. But just to give you an idea what's possible. So this is the ST. This is the first suggestion I have when it comes to a hot hatch. It's still practical in the city. Doesn't draw too much attention on itself. Yes, it has double exhaust and ST on the back. But it's not like a Golf GTI or a R32 for that matter, or an Audi RS3. They draw much more attention to themselves. Here you see the bars of the turbo. This is the temperature gauge of the oil. Yeah. Excuse me. Volume. I never like it when they make a picture like this. You know, please fill me up. It really means like either the previous owner or the people that sell the car really had a test drive in it, and just put it there. So also when you're there to buy it, you want to take a nice test drive, the first thing you need to do is, can you put some gas in it, or where's the nearest pump? I don't know. Just small things like that people don't mind, but I do. It just looks not good to me. But again, 210 kilometers really depends. And you see it has ESP. It has all the functionalities you want, air conditioning, all the basic stuff. But it's not the same as a Golf, which we will go to now, which is the obvious choice if you are from Europe. So let's go to Volkswagen. You can either go for Golf generation 4, 5, 6, or you can go for the top end model. It's older, but it's a modern classic, I would say, the R32. So let's go for Golf, and we put there first GTI. I'm sure you'll find a lot. Yes, 160. It's. Let me take a sip. 2004. I don't know why they put GTI there. Oh, it looks like a GTI. It has GTI rims. Let's check it out. Okay, it's a Mazda dealership. 6600. 2004. It's driven a lot of kilometers and it's old. But so far so good. Yes, it's a GTI, definitely. The Golf 5 GTI. Aftermarket stereo. This car already had a whole life behind it, trust me. But so far so good. It looks okay. 6600. It's well below budget. So yeah, 2004, 2005. I remember when these cars were launched. This is one also the first generation with the FSI engine block. Reliability wise, I didn't never hear bad things about them, but of course they need regular maintenance, and it's a high performance engine. It's probably it is a 2-liter RC, 16 valve. I want to see what it produces in horsepower, but it's probably squeezed. So it needs good oil, it needs proper warming up before trashing the gas pedal. You don't see that in the maintenance, you know? You just have to hope that it was taken care of well. I think this is original, so I don't think it's an import. That's already good. 4-cylinder, 2-liter, 200 horsepower. It has a turbo, I think. Yeah, it's a TSI. Yes, it has a turbo. It's heavier than the Golf. German cars are always a little bit more heavy. Euro 4. What else is important to know? Anything else? No. Yeah, too many kilometers. Too many kilometers. Maybe we can get it home for 6. I don't think it's a future classic. I don't think so. But is it a lot of bang for your buck? I don't think necessarily 6,600 euros is cheap, but it's also not very expensive. On the look of it, on the surface, this car looks fine. But I think it has too many kilometers. Of course, when you have half the kilometers, you go well above budget. But the real question you have to ask yourself, you want to buy a Golf 5 GTI in 2021 or later? I'm not sure. I think, let me just go straight to what I would do. This one, in the days when Volkswagen was a little bit crazy. They put a 3.2 liter VR6, I believe. See if you can still find one. I don't think so, actually. No, this is a package. This is not the real one. This looks more like it, but it's also not. Okay, let me show you that one. If you can still find that one. Volkswagen Wagon R32. Let's say 2004. That's around that time. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, this one. Come on. (2004) R32, which had the I think it's the 3.2 VR6, and they have the VR6, not the V6, to make sure that this whole, which is a 6-cylinder engine, fit under the hood. And the Golf is not that big, but it could fit this quite big displacement engine under the hood. I read a lot about this car because I think it's an icon. It's a car when I was young, it was on the market, and I saw it driving around a few times. But dynamically, yeah, it's more like a car to blast down the straight of the autobahn and not to throw into the corners. But I think it's an iconic Golf. Okay, moving on. What else can we find? 8K, just Golf. That's it. Okay, we put the filter away again and see what we can see. Just normal Golfs. There's a lot here in Europe. Let's go for the GTI. We're not gonna look for diesel. If you want a diesel, it's a GTD. But that one only has 170 horsepower, coming from I think a 2-liter TDI with different software, and that's the fastest diesel you can get. 2009. Let's just go right under budget here. Almost 8K, 2010, so it's 11 years old now. Has a lot of kilometers driven, but on the surface it looks okay. That's the way you want it. That's the way you want it. 2010, so the license plate makes sense. It's probably not an import, but always, like, if you're a Dutch viewer, do your research about the import. And if it's imported from Germany, it doesn't necessarily need to be a bad thing, but so many times these cars are imported from Germany, and some guy you know picks up a laptop and makes sure he deducts a lot of miles from it, put a lot of grease on the car, to make it nice and shiny, and sells it again, and laughs his ass to the bank, basically. You need to make sure that if you import it from Germany, you also get all the German documentation, all the repair bills, and even if it's a copy, and if you're lucky, you can still trace the owner, and you can see if it's a young kid or it's somebody in his 50s who like to drive on the autobahn on Sundays and thinks the Golf is a do-it-all car for me. That's why I have the Golf. The car has to have a matching story that you can believe in. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, looking okay. Looking good from the outside. The GTI. Nice manual. That's exactly what you want in a GTI. You don't want a DSG. DSG. Yes. You want the manual. Again, these are not sports cars. These cars that do it all. You can drive 220, 230 kilometers an hour on the Autobahn, but it feels right at home in a big city. You can park it in front of your door or in the garage. Yeah, but a big but. I'm talking coming from the Netherlands. Golfs are the most stolen cars here in this country, and second is the Polo, which is like a little bit smaller Golf. Volkswagen, for some reason, it's just a popular car. Again, it's a do-it-all. It's looking fine. You see, it's all a little bit dated. It's only 10 years old, but it's already dated. Your digital 6-speed. Nah, that's exactly what you want. ESP off. But for the rest, it's just business as usual Golf. Again, some specs. It's probably all the same. This is a 211 horsepower version. It's a little bit lighter. It's now under 1300 kilos. And what else is important to know? Average consumption of fuel is 3.7 liters on 100 kilometers average. In the city, it's 1 liter in every 10 kilometers. And highway is outstanding. It has a lot of kilometers. 6-speed, 18-inch wheels. It's a 2-liter engine block. These 2 liters are squeezed. They are squeezed. I like Golfs, but I'm not per se a Golf person. So I don't know about all the weak points. In the future, you will see a buying review. I'll make sure of that. But I don't know the weak points. But it's a performance engine, a 2-liter 4-cylinder with 211 horsepower and a turbo. Yeah, they can be reliable. They can be. It's 2009, 2010. Yeah, 2010. I'm sure that they need good oil. And I'm sure these engines use oil, because I also used to drive a Volkswagen. They use oil. Almost all of them do. So does BMW. So does some Mercedes, especially the performance, the AMG models. Use good oil and regularly check it. You don't want to be bashing that car with not enough oil in the engine. You're gonna you're gonna destroy it. Okay, that's Golf. I think I've said enough. We all know Golf. They're not very inspiring. They're actually a little bit boring, but again, they do it all. They do it all for you. I have another one, and this one is coming straight from Italy, and almost nobody knows about it or talks about it. Um, I'm not even sure if it's available in the United States. Okay, we erase all the filters. Let's move on. And that's the GT. And we're also going to put that on 8K. Find me some. Wow, more than I expected. I'll show you some. 2006 GTS. It's a gasoline. A little bit more than 100,000 kilometers on the clock. It's an Alfa Romeo. Italian design. It's something different than the Germans or the Japanese. Definitely. Are these cars reliable? I have a mixed feeling about that. I heard the GTD diesels are very, very reliable. Almost indestructible even. But I don't know about the gasoline engines. And this is a gasoline engine. 2-seater GTS. So it probably has a turbo. It has 166 horsepower. It's a beautiful car. It looks nice. It's something special, you know, something special. This is like the Italian BMW, you know. It's just all a little bit different. It's like you're sitting in an Italian coffee bar or something, you know. All leather. GTS. Now let's look up some specs. 16 valve. Ah, it's not bad. Not bad. Let's see what it is. So 2006, 3-door, 5-speed automatic. Not automatic, sorry. It's a manual 5-speed. Okay, what else? The options. Okay, this is what we want to see. 167 horsepower, top speed 216 kilometers an hour, acceleration to 100 kilometers an hour from a standstill 8.7 seconds. What else is important? It's also around 1300 kilos, and it's a 4-cylinder, 206 Newton meters, and it's a 2-liter. Again, I don't know about these engines, but I like it just to bring a little bit. Otherwise, I'm only gonna review German cars, and I know it's interesting, but it's getting boring after a while. So this is even younger, has a little bit more kilometers, and it's in red, which fits an Alfa Romeo. I'm just gonna go over some pictures now, because we're gonna move on. I have a lot more to show you guys. Okay, nah. Yes, stream is still running. This looks nice. This is a poor man's Ferrari, isn't it? At least I think so. It's looking nice. Look at those seats. They look comfortable to me. Hmm. Looking good. Nice design. 5-speed. 6K. 6K. 2008. It's actually cheaper than what I bought the Suzuki for. So there must be a reason. You know, the Suzuki is not desirable whatsoever, in my opinion, but I respect the Suzuki Swift for reliability. It's economical. It's nice in the city. Yeah, and based on the weight, you don't pay a lot of road tax, and it's just a car you can drive 200 kilometers. Not in great comfort, yes, but it's economical. It's reasonably fast, and it's reliable. And if something happens on the car, it's not very expensive to maintain. I don't know if a car like this is easy to maintain. I always think the worst, right? But if you look at it like this, 6K, and you have a budget of 8K, so you have 2K on layaway, right? Layaway. Do a proper inspection that will cost you 100, 150 euros. Do it at an Alfa Romeo dealer. And if he tells you, of course, you first do your own inspection, with a flashlight and see how this looks. Then you do some research on the internet, and then you look at the specific points that you find on the internet. Then you go to the Alfa Romeo dealer and do a proper checkup. And then you come to a certain agreement. You can maybe say, I want you to do this, that, and that, and can we all keep it in within 1,000 euros? Then you still have 1,000 euros left. So you basically have the whole car for 7K. Look at it like this. And I think it's a beautiful car. I think it's beautiful. Purely based on the appearance. I think it's nice. Now, another brand, Seat. So if you don't want to go for Volkswagen, you go for a car in the VAG group, which is also Seat, and they have a cheaper alternative for the Golf, which is called the Leon. And in Volkswagen terms, it's the GTI, and in Leon Seat terms, it's the FR. So let's see how many FRs we find. This is the TDI. I don't want no diesels. Oh, I just want gasoline. Petrol. 200 horsepower, 200 horsepower. 2007, 2011. I want something that looks good. 2005. Just because of the rims. 2006. 200,000. 2006. 2003. That's all too old. 2011. This is an TFSI. You see, that's a Volkswagen engine. Okay, 7K, 10 years old. Let's just check it out. It's just like a Golf, but a little bit different. FR. I think Seat used to be a Spanish company, but it's acquired by Volkswagen many years ago. And now it has, the Volkswagen DNA, basically. And it's always been a budget version of a Volkswagen, where an Audi is upmarket, Volkswagen is like in the middle, and Seat is a little bit on the lower end. But it doesn't mean that these cars are bad. You just don't really, you also pay money for the brand Audi, If it has the same kind of engines, that's basically what matters. And if they do some rust proofing here and there, it's already great. You see, very basic. But this is basically a DSG gearbox from Volkswagen. It has a TFSI engine there. So it's Volkswagen DNA all over. It's just a suggestion, right? 180,000 kilometers driven. Again, a 4-cylinder, 2-liter, 211 horsepower. Where did we see this number earlier? So it's a Volkswagen, just not with the VW badge, if you care. Offers the same kind of performance in a different package. Because these cars are boring, I will not go over them too long. Let's see if we have something that pops. 2006, 2007. This looks funny. Let's just show you one more example. 270 horsepower. Wow, that's crazy. Almost 300 horsepower for such a small car. Must be chip tuned or something. You see, this was what I'm talking about. This pops a little bit. I don't know if this is factory, but it looks funny. FR. Not bad, right? You remember this? DSG. This looks okay. Not too bad. But look at the leather. Not in the greatest shape. Don't know if this is aftermarket. I have no idea. Do research, please. Auxiliary here. ESP. Damper settings. Lock, unlock. Funny. 6K, July 2007. It's a long time ago. 200 horsepower. Here it says 200 horsepower. Okay, what's the story behind this car? Let's see if we can find that out. We go back. Let's find out. Okay, can't find why there's a difference in horsepower. It's advertised here with 270 horsepower. And yeah, here it says 200 horsepower. Anyway, it could be chipped or it could be just to draw your attention. 6K for this car. 170,000 kilometers on the clock. Could be something. Could be something. I'm just saying. Now, we move on. But now we move on to the higher. We just talked about Audi. Let's see what we can buy. How much Audi we can buy with 8K. Probably not too much, but let's check it out. But let's go for a high performance model. The RS3 for 8K. So it might as well be a very early version. Let's just see what the internet has for us. Not the A4. No, we're looking for the A3. Only one. Nah. Makes it easy for us. 2006, it's old. RS4. What is this? Okay, what is this? This looks like a regular. I'm not gonna take too much time. 270 horsepower. Why? This just looks like a regular A3. Okay, what is this? $200 horsepower. Okay, there's a lot of crap out there. A3. Okay, you can't find it. Let's me put this away. Just find me an RS3 and see how much you need to pay for that. Okay, 2016. You see, 8K is not gonna cut it. I thought we are gonna find something old, but we don't. This is the beauty of live streaming, you know. You never know what happens around the corner. 2017. Man, 40K for that. 310 horsepower in such a small package. Yeah, I mean, this is a modern car, right? This is all fully digital. You gotta pay a lot of money to keep this in the air, but I'm sure it drives well, but I would never go for Audi to look for dynamic driving. I would go for Audi if I live somewhere where there's lots of rain or lots of snow and you still want to drive fast, because the quattro system just keeps you on the road. But for the rest, they're beautiful cars, definitely. The way they put together, definitely. But if you go for, if you like dynamic driving, don't look at an Audi. Sorry. So this is the A3. Let's see if we can find an RS4. And if we can't, we quickly move on. I just thought I could find something. Okay. 4 and 8K. Let's see if we can find 4 examples. So they must be old. 2010. It's just an A4. Put the filter on there. Search again. Okay. Yeah, why do I even bother? An RS6. Let's just try. And then we did everything. The guys that watch these videos probably know that. We have the S3, the S4, the S6, and the S8, which are faster than the normal cars, and the RS is like the highest level. That's like an AMG or an M, right? So 8K for probably an RS6. See if we can find an RS6. No, oh, okay. This is nice. This is nice. I like this generation S6, but it's from 2000. 21 years old, 300,000 kilometers driven, 7K. But how does it look? Man, this is timeless elegance, but it's just me. With Audis, I love the old Audis. I love the Audis from the 80s and the 90s. Just something about them. It's just so cool. Just like this car. It's just an ordinary station car, but it has a V8. The 4.2. I think one of the first ones. Hey, doesn't look too bad, but yeah, this is a headache waiting to happen. 4.2, 8-cylinder engine, 340 horsepower, 300,000 kilometers driven, 7K. Is it imported? I don't think it's imported. Almost 1800 kilos heavy. Leather doesn't look too bad, but I think this, I don't know. You could do it for 7K. If you only drive in the weekends. But when you're here in Holland, just like me, you pay road tax based on the weight of the car. It's still not going to be a cheap car, even to have it under your, or have it standing in your driveway. And when you want to go somewhere, I mean, it's a thirsty V8. Back in the 2000s, it didn't matter. It was just a prestige thing for Audi to compete with Mercedes and BMW. And this is a thirsty V8. If you really floor it, it's maybe 1 liter every 4 to 5 kilometers. So, and gas prices going through the roof, especially now when electronic cars has to be promoted so vigorously. These are icons from a past that will never come back. I really like them. I think they are cool. You have lots of space. It's Recaro seats, leather, everything. Funny, I could still find 2. Let's look at the other one. This one driven less. It's 1 year younger. I don't know what's the difference. Just for the sake of it, let's check. This looks almost not real in the picture somehow. Okay, this has been here Tires full of grease, but you can see the age through it. But that's alright. Yeah, here you see it. But it's maybe just the lighting. You see the ladder. But what do you expect? 21 years old. The S6. This was basically Audi's first attempt to compete with the big boys. And look at where they're now. I love that red and blue interior from back then. Easy readability at night. Easy for the eyes. Back then, I already had some of this carbon look in the cars. Okay, I'm going off my. I have something more. Let's see if we can buy a Mercedes-Benz, and we're not gonna put any model in there. We're just gonna say AMG. No, I said AMG Mach. For 8K. Okay, let's try to find the AMG over here. I don't think they have it. Then we're done in no time, because we already did Mercedes-Benz in the previous episode, and I know you guys are all about Mercedes-Benz, so I just try to put it in there. I don't see any AMG, but also, to be honest, I wouldn't buy an AMG for 8K, even if it existed. Don't do that to yourself. Forget about it. So, BMW then. BMW, 8K. Let's just say an M3. M3. Right, for 8K. What can you buy? It's the Z3. 2002. This is not. I want an M car. M Sport. It's not the same. Okay, long story short, there is no M car. But many other nice cars. But is it really a hot hatch? Nah, this is a station car. No. We will move on, also for the sake of time. Let's see. We're gonna move over to Japan right now. Let's do that. So, Japan has many nice sporty cars. I wouldn't call them necessarily hot hatches, but many cars that are sportive, like the 350Z, 2006, 2007, second edition, still on the budget. Wow, this looks stunning on the picture. Second generation they call it. 313 horsepower. Not bad. Not bad. But look at where the pictures are being taken. Okay, this has okay. Already thinking, man, what's this? Yeah, you could buy this if you have your own repair shop. But let's look for a normal one that's not damaged. So 2006, 8K, just under budget, 280 horsepower, 170,000 kilometers driven. What else we need to know is 3.5 liter V6, right? Yes, V6, rear wheel drive. Transmission is manual. What else you need to know? Yes, it's imported. So, but just for the sake of this video, again, let's just look at what you can get. Can I zoom in? No, this is it. 350Z Nissan. I'm never really a big fan of the styling of those kind of cars, but I'm sure they're reliable. I'm sure they're a lot of fun. I saw a comparison with Chris Harris once with the 350Z, the GT86, and even a second-hand Porsche. Chris Harris was not very optimistic about the driving characteristics of this Nissan, so I would test drive it. Maybe you find it driving great because your reference is not that big. I mean, Chris Harris drives the most exclusive cars on this planet, so his reference is way out there. I'm sure it's a nice car, but he said when you push it to the limit, it doesn't want it. It's more of a layback cruiser than really like a dynamic driving machine. So this could be an option. We just had Nissan and we go to Toyota. And we're gonna look for the model. I'm sure we're not gonna get it for this because they're not on the market that long. No options. Let's just put this away and see how much that cost. Let's see if it even there. Must be here. 10 of these, they must be more expensive still. Ooh, I didn't expect that. Yes. So 25k. 25k. This is even a diesel, a D. But this is the GT86. Chris Harris loved the car, but he also said that he missed the power. But the whole overall package and the handling and how everything worked together, the gearbox and the overall package and the way the car made you feel, yeah, he really respected it. It's a Boxster engine. Basic stuff, but it's just a fun car. 130,000 kilometers driven. It's still asking 25k for it, but these cars are not that old. Next year they will become 10 years old, so they keep their value apparently. And I don't think they were that expensive when they just came out. But it's a Toyota, so it's probably bulletproof. I thought we could find a few for 8k. Man, was I wrong. Moving on quickly. Something that we must find for 8k. Another brand out of the land of the rising sun. An Impreza, right? 8k. We must find something. Maybe even newer stuff. So this is the 1.6 is not really what we're looking for. 2 liter. These are the new. You can't find the WRX. That's WRX. Please, no. Too bad. No, wax he will not find. 1. Oh, we're lucky. 2 liter GT all-wheel drive turbo. I hope they have pictures. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. 1999, 300,000 kilometers on the clock. This is the WRX rally version of the car. I think this one also has a Boxster. Golden rims. This is exactly the spec you wanted. 1999, it's a long time ago, but 300,000 kilometers driven. Man, if you have this in the blue color with the yellow and the gold, just like Colin McRae, that's what you want. But they all have this huge pipe here making a lot of noise. And I think they're not that fast. Oh, look at the rust. Look at the rust. Jesus. It's a project car. If you really like that, man. Just giving you suggestions Also giving you suggestions to walk away from this. This is just a headache. Oh man. Somebody loved the Fast and the Furious, didn't they? Rally Tech. Rotterdam. Yeah. Subarus. I don't know how you say it in English, but they're pretty damn reliable. If you look at a Forester, you can pick them up for 2K and they'll drive. They'll drive through mud, to sand, on the normal road, but they're pretty good. They have Boxster engines. They're pretty thirsty, but they're super reliable. Japanese quality. Let's look at some of the specs, shall we? So this is a 2-liter. I think it's a 4-cylinder, right? March 99. 300,000 kilometers driven. It only weighs 1230 kilos. Makes sense. Euro 2, that's how old it is. 2-liter 4-cylinder, pushing out 218 horsepower with a turbo. So basically the recipe that Volkswagen has now. 2-liter 4-cylinders and a turbo. And they already do it, like the Japanese already do that in the 90s. 3.2 seconds from 0 to 100 kilometers. Disc brakes. Okay, so all-wheel drive, because it's a rally car. Again, that's the only example I can find. It's an icon. It's an icon of a car, but should you buy it? If you're handy, you have a workshop, and I mean, if I lift up the hood and I see this, I mean, the car can still run. It can still shift and make a nice noise. But this is not original. I don't think so. And if I'm not and look at this here. What's that? Did he barbecue in that yesterday? I don't know. Yeah. Rust everywhere. Of course, it's an old car. And did you look at the rust on the chassis? I mean, the chassis, the body. Moving on. Quickly. What else we got? No, we shouldn't put the VRX in here. I just want to tell you and show you if there's something else than Impreza. Just the Outback. They don't really have any performance legacy. Ain't that just a second? Oh, that's that boring thing. 2002, but look at that. I mean, it's not a hot hatch. I'm going off topic. 4.5K. Not driven a lot. Okay. Hurry up. Okay, what am I saying? I'm going off topic. Anyway, it 125 horsepower. Forget about it. Moving on. Hey, for the people that like the Fast and the Furious, we also have something else. How about the... What is going on? Supra. Okay, we don't have Supras here in Holland. But for all the viewers out there in the United States, it's still a golden grail car, right? I never really understood the fascination with it, because this is the Fast and the Furious car, right? This one. Yeah. There are plenty of videos out there from the beginning of time of the internet with these cars having more than 1,000 horsepower, and they can put it on the road too. But we don't have those kind of cars. I just wanted to give you a suggestion. Again, live streaming. I just write something down and we'll see how far we can make it. No Supra. I think we're coming up at the end of this video. And I want to show you how much Porsche you can buy. Probably not much for 8K. 37 examples. Yeah, only Cayennes. See if there's something fun between it. Probably only Cayennes, indeed. Ooh. I have to check this one later. Just probably only Cayenne. Okay. What is this? Let's just check this out. Okay, this is the 924 from 90, no, from 79. 79. So early 80s. All right. Two-seater. Body panels look okay. Oh man, this is not original. Why you do that to a car like that? I don't get it. All right. Looking okay. Of course it's old. Looks like the original engine. What are we talking about? Manual, 163 horsepower from a 4-cylinder, 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. That's all the information you got. Okay. This could be an option. Would you go for it? No. It's probably only Cayenne over here, yeah, and this one. I think this one was one of the entry-level Porsches from the 80s and late 70s. Lekker koppakking. Only Cayennes, of course. Early 2000s. No, what's this? This is not possible. It's not possible. 911 for €1,000. What's happening with this one? Okay, what's the deal with this one? 411 horsepower. 2004. What's the catch? Okay, I don't get it. Let's see if we can buy some American muscle here. We go to Ford. I think they have a Ford USA here. Yes. Let's see what else we can buy here. An Expedition Explorer. The F. This is not really a hot hatch anymore. Okay. But it does have V8. 97. I was looking for Mustang actually. $223 horsepower. Do they have Mustangs here? 5 Mustangs for 8K. So this is the 2000 model, that's fine. This is 2006 and 94. The 94 one is quite expensive. Let me see why. Okay, gotta be your taste. But the 2000 model is quite nice, I think. Okay, this has just been pimped. Yeah, 2000, 21 years old. Almost 8K. This has the 5-liter V8, I believe. Let's see what it is. Okay, it claims to have 100,007 kilometers driven. What else is important? Where can I see more specs? This is it? No. Carfax report. Oh, how convenient. What else we got? This one looking good as well, 96. This is already a little bit more normal for the time. Okay, this doesn't really align. You have to see these cars in real life. See how they drive, see how they run, if they idle nice or if they run roughly. Yeah, this is really 90s. And excuse me, this is also not very good quality. I think this is great for cruising. As a matter of fact, let's look at some specs. Let's do that. 140 horsepower. It's probably imported. I'm not even sure if you could buy a car like this in 96 here in the Netherlands. A 4 liter from a V8. Yeah, 3.8. Okay. And pretty heavy as well. Euro 2, 6-cylinder V6. But what's the... Okay, the power output is 147. Yeah, again, this is a cruiser. Probably a very torquey engine. A 6-cylinder, almost 4 liter V6, 150-ish horsepower. I mean, these engines don't need to rev. They're pretty torquey and they will last long. Purely on the fact that these kind of engines, they don't really have to work hard, right? Let's just go. Not to disappoint everybody, let's go to BMW. We have no more filters, 8K. The deal was to find a hot hatch. Let's see if we can find something. We have a 1 series. Let's go for either a nice 3 series, 5 series, hot hatch. Let's go for a 1 series then. And let's go for the most expensive one. Business line. The most expensive are just the newest one. Okay. Okay, to be honest, it's a little bit disappointing episode this time. Because hot hatches, I started off nice with the Focus ST and cars like that. Let's just go back to Google. So yeah, the ST, but if you can find something like this, but you can't find them no more. The E36 M3, also they, they're not they used to be cheap, but now they're expensive. This is even a compact. Yeah, don't mind the color, but this is early 90s. You can't find them no more. People lost after these cars because they had a great inline 6 engine, quite bulletproof, not many electronics on it, so it's a nice track car, rear wheel drive, 250 horsepower ish back in the day, really quick. You can't find this no more. And how about an E39 M5? They are also very expensive nowadays. Beautiful, beautiful car. Beautiful car. Really. Best 5 Series they ever made in Munich. What else pops to my mind? Of course, what we tried earlier, the Audi. Nah, I need to say it like this. The 2000 Audi RS4 Avant, for instance. Beautiful car. Beautiful. Really. I love it. But you can't find them no more. Here in Europe, they either been bought by Eastern Europeans, or they just rotted away, or they're 20, 22, no, they're 21 years old, these cars, right? They either been used or they crashed on the Nürburgring, who knows? Jesus, I hate this. What's going on? Yes. Here, look at this. 2000 Audi RS4 Avant. Again, I like 90s Audis the best. They just have a certain coolness about them. They didn't pretend like they do nowadays. We did see in let's see if we can find a 2000 RS6. I hope they were already on the market back then. This is not a 2000. Okay, it doesn't matter. This is 2004. You see, 2003. Yeah, also very cool car. But this is 2003. What else? So this is the Audi. We had the BMW. Let's go back to Google. How about a Mercedes 190E 2.3 16 valve? The top of the line back then. You can't find them no more. You just can't. Help me out here, please. Yes. Zoom in. Yes. Hey, classic. Classic. 1988. This car was competing with the M3 from the time, which we also going to show you after this. The E30 M3, the first M3, I believe. And this is when Mercedes and BMW were competing for these high performance street cars, right? With each other. This engine was developed in a cooperation, I believe, with people from Cosworth, and the M3 built its own engine in Munich. Let's go to the BMW E30 3. These are cars that, you know, if you ever have the possibility to buy them, buy them. I think they're so cool. It's also because I was just a young boy back then, you know. But it's just an era in the automotive industry that will never come back again. You have to think about it. It's an inline six in this car. I don't know about how much the car weighs. I have no idea, but it's not much. It's just an engine, two chairs, a 5 or 6 speed, not many driver aids, but a very well balanced chassis, and it's just you in the car. The driver makes this a fast car. There are not many electronical. I think there's even, I don't even know, they probably had ABS, but ESP, I don't think so. I don't think they didn't have that in the late 80s yet. So it's a pure car, and because you have such a good chassis and such a nice responsive inline six with a great noise, it's just an object that people lost after, and you can't find them no more cheap. Even though they're old. They're old. They're 35. They're 35 years old. All right. Anything else? Yes. I had another idea. Porsche Boxster 2000. Again, 8K is also not enough for that. Here we have one. This is dollars. No, this is not dollars. Kilometer. Let's just see what they ask for it. Okay, this is that only drive 20,000 kilometers. Okay, let's just go over some of the pictures. Yeah, this is also very nice. This is a 2000, and the Boxster was also entry level, but you can't buy that no more with 8K. This is just, you know, something that I wanted to let you guys know was also possible. Looking good. Yeah, we're almost coming up at the end. I thought it was easier to find some great hot hatches, but I was wrong. Basically, you know, a Ford Focus ST, a Golf, Seat Leon ST, no, an FR, some Audis. We found an S6, which was quite amazing to me, and surprising actually. And we have a few Nissans. You also have the bigger brother, which is the Nissan 370Z. This could probably also be an option, but not the newest one, of course. Let's see which generation. Let's just put a year in front of it, 2006-ish. This should be on the market. Yeah, like this one. This one is also probably possible for 8 to 10K. And they will be reliable, but maybe you have to import some parts, which will make it more expensive. It's not easy. Hot hatches are difficult. You know why it's easy to pick up a S-Class or a 7 Series or whatever is because nobody wants to take that risk. You know, if something breaks, your car is totaled. And if you're willing to take that risk, yes, you can drive the car. You can be lucky. You can have the car for a couple of years, have great fun, definitely. But anything goes on the V12 or on a V8 for that matter, it's totaled. That's why nobody bothers to do with that, especially not when it's your daily driver. You don't want to take that risk. But who has a 7 Series or an old S-Class as a Sunday car? Only a few people, right? So hot hatches, they keep their value because they're also practical. You can use them as a daily driver. So they maintain their value. And if you go for a Japanese car, they're reliable. If you go for a German car, there's many varieties in there. I think the best one for this series was the Ford Focus ST, actually, with the 2.5 liter 5-cylinder turbo. That would be my pick. It's a reliable engine, and the styling is not that bad. I will show you one more picture and then we close this live stream. So the Ford Focus ST, just make sure we put two the specs. No. Yes, I remember when Jeremy Clarkson introduced that back in the day. I think they're also quite popular in the UK, actually. Oh, this one looks bad with the rims. See, it's practical. And here's an S40. Funny. You see, they're almost as big, and they both have the same chassis. And this one has the Volvo engine, and this is a Volvo, so it's funny. Don't tell anyone you're driving half a Volvo, you know, because that's not cool. But I'm sure the ST drives great, and reliability wise, they're good. They handle well, and you know, Ford is also not super expensive when it comes to maintenance. So I would really look into this with the 2.5 5-cylinder, of course, as long as that's possible. So that would be my pick. I hope you find it interesting. I didn't find so many cars that really, helped you with this search, but I hope I give you enough suggestions. Hot hatches, again, the prices are still, they maintain high, especially here in Europe. But I gave you enough food for thought for now. Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you guys in the next video.